Hey, welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today I want to talk about the slot receiver. I think this is going to be a big part of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, especially with them running a lot of 11 personnel, which would be three receivers. And as we all know, the receiver position is a position that I think for the last 2 years for sure that the Pittsburgh Steelers have totally um, messed up. I feel like they ignored that position to a point. Because they got to be fair. They did make the trade for DK Metcalf, but they went on and traded Pickens and kind of left DK there by itself. And I just think it's a position. I think the wide receiver position. I mean, and you can just go by the money that these guys are making now. So it lets you know how important this position is to the offense. I've always said that. I mean, and this is not new. Every football fan pretty much knows this. The game is catered to the offense now. The game is catered to, your quarterback really can't be hit. I mean, he can be hit, but if you hit him too hard or you hit him in the head a little bit, that's a penalty. These DBs are pretty much asked to play with one arm. You can't grab the receivers. Any little tic tac um, collision or you grabbing the guy, that's a penalty. So it's catered to the offense. So with that said, the smart teams have went on and got lucky and got great quarterbacks, but also they have wide receivers. So the Steelers, doing free agency, they made the trade for Pittman, which was a great thing. And I'm saying that these five guys, and it's only five guys we're gonna talk about today. I think some kind of way the Pittsburgh Steelers have to come out of this draft with one of these five. I I believe. Um, I I I think one of these five guys at the end of all this draft stuff, one of these five guys definitely needs to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Now, how they gonna get that done? There's a lot of different kind of ways they can get it done, but as long as I feel like as long as they get it done, um, they'll be all right. Because I think these guys that we're going to talk about, um, all five of them could definitely be day one starters and play in the slot. And I think some better than others, but I think all these guys would definitely produce. It's going to be a situation where they're going to have to come in here, learn the offense, and be ready to go because we all know Aaron Rodgers really does not like rookie pass catchers. And it's not a situation you know what? And I really shouldn't even say that so much. Aaron Rodgers, he want everybody that's on the field to know what they're doing. So I'm not even going to even go with he just don't like rookie receivers. He's going to expect if you step out on that field, you know what you're doing, where you're going, and that's his deal. So these guys know when they come in here, it's going to be tough, but they I have no doubt these guys can get it done, and 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 be productive players. Be productive players and finally get this offense doing the things that we should be doing. Let's see what we got here. Facts. He just want a rookie who knows what they're doing. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's going to, you're right, Tyrone. So that's going to come down, it's going to be on the player to get in his playbook and understand what he's doing. Um, the receivers coach to make sure he's coaching these guys up, and and it shouldn't be no problem. It shouldn't be no problem. I mean, so for the most part, um, everybody on the offense is going to be learning this new offense together. So that's a good thing. So he's not really coming into a situation where everybody just know the offense like the back of their hands. So with that said, we're going to talk about the five guys that I believe, regardless of how it happens or where they're drafted at, I just believe some kind of way one of these five needs to be a Pittsburgh Steelers. So my topic here is the YAC Kings. So my big thing is I'm a big receiver guy. I'm a big receiver guy, and I think one of the most important things that you can get from your receivers is, number one, obviously catching the ball. That's the first thing, and that's the obvious thing. So you want a guy that's gonna catch the ball, but once he catch it, what you gonna do with it? I don't want that guy, catching it and that's it. I mean, okay, you caught the ball, but I need some um some yak yards. I need you to do something with it when you catch it. And I believe these five guys that we're going to talk about are guys that can do that. So, with that said, let's get into it. All right. So, my first guy, my number 5 guy, uh Giovanni Bernard. Um, he's going to be a day 2 guy more than likely. Could he push up into the first round? Maybe, but I think he would definitely be a guy. If the Steelers target him, he would be a day 2 guy, second round pick for sure. I think he's definitely going to go in the second. Um, he's a tough kid. He's a he's a mid 4.4 guy, but he's a thicker, powerful guy. So he's tough. Um, you know, after the catch, he's a tough guy to tackle. Um, you always hear guys say, he's a football player, and I think that's what he is. He's a football player. I think he's well tough enough to play in the slot. He's well, he's strong. He's willing to go in there and block. He's willing to do the little things that most slot receivers are going to be asked to do. So I think Bernard is my 5th guy. Like I said, I think this is a kid that you definitely could get him day 2. Um, I don't think he's gonna push up in the first round, but he may. He may. I don't see the Steelers targeting him in the first round, but you know. So what my comp of Bernard is Debo Samuel. I think they got somewhat of the same game now. I mean, the Steelers won't be doing this, but they ain't gonna line them up in the backfield and let them run the ball from out the backfield. But I just think almost the same body type. I think just they just got the same type of game, I believe. Tough guy to tackle. He can get in those seams and and you know go dig out a safety if he got to make a block. But that's his NFL comp to me is on Debo Samuel. So everybody kind of know the type player Debo is, and then that's just a tough, hard nosed football player. I mean, when you look at Debo Samuel, a lot of people are gonna say, and that's just a hard nosed football player, and I think that's what Bernard. I think Bernard is that type guy. So moving on to my number four guy. So my number four guy, which I kind of predict this may be the Pittsburgh Steelers pick, but you never know. But Omar Cooper Jr. Obviously he's going to be a day one guy. So this is a guy that the Steelers, if they wanted to go and draft him, I think they could get him at 21, and he's definitely going to go in the first round. He's definitely going to go in the first round. A good, another solid receiver, a tough guy. I think he has a mature sense to his game. I think he's just coming from Indiana, coming from a hard nosed coach. He's been coached hard. He's great after the catch. Uh, Another guy that I wouldn't have a problem with being the slot receiver. I think he can also play a little outside if need be. He can definitely be a outside receiver a little bit, but he would fit perfectly playing in between DK and Pittman. Um, he's the guy that and something else what you want with your slots. You want guys that's going to move the chains. You want guys that's going to keep these chains moving, and just going to be catch the ball, and that's going to be one of the main things. What we got here, Tyrone? This is my guy right here, Cooper Jr. He's nasty, great fit, the slot with DK and Pittman. Absolutely. And you know, I would like this pick, and I truly believe this is going to be the pick. This is my leading person right here that I think this is going to be the Steelers pick. And my NFL comp for Omar Cooper is Rashid Rice. I think they kind of got similar games, similar build to him. So when I kind of look at Rashid Rice, I kind of see Omar Cooper a little bit there, and so that's my comp for Cooper. So I mean, take away the off the field stuff. Would you take Rashid Rice? I definitely would. But just got his. He just got the issues off the field, and I think Kansas City may, depending on what they do in this draft, if they feel like they can get a guy to kind of replace him, I think Kansas City bought and had it with him. So he's a guy that he could be a draft day trade. I don't know who would take him, but you never know. So my number 3 guy, and this would be a day 2 guy, Zachariah Branch. I know you heard the term of getting open in a phone booth. This is that guy. Now, the only thing that he's going to have to show is, can he run a whole route tree? And not to say that he can't do it, he just wasn't asked to do it in Georgia. And if you go back and watch his film, it's a lot of short stuff. It's a lot of short stuff, bubbles and just one step, and they're giving him the ball. But the one thing about him, and actually, he's probably honestly the most explosive guy out of all these guys. I believe wouldn't have a problem. Wouldn't have a problem of bringing in Branch to be the slot guy again. I think he's a second round. I know some mocks I've seen a third round. I think you might have to get him in the second. But he's faster. They say he's faster than a hiccup, and he can definitely make plays. And the one thing I like about him, he's a little small. He a little fella, but he's tough. He did like 20. I think it was 20 or 22 reps at 225, and that's great for a kid his size. What's up? What's up, man? That Bigfoot Bob. How you doing, man? Yeah, this is a tough kid, major speed, and you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this comp. So my comp with him, and I'm gonna explain it because I know some people are gonna say no way. But my comp with Branch is Tyreek Hill. Obviously Hill is, I don't know how he's gonna be now, but Hill's faster. But Branch is a guy. Now you see him, now you don't. And again, him and Hill has the same type of body structure. Obviously Hill got a few years on him, so at this point Hill is in his old man strength. So Branch should get there. But the one thing that Branch, like I say, the one thing that Branch is lacking that Hill has right now is the route tree. We just got to see, and this is something that he can do. But like I say, Georgia just didn't ask him to do it. But that's my comp is Tyreek Hill for Branch, and let me know what you think about that. But I think these guys are pretty close. Like I say, we're not talking the Tyreek Hill speed, but this kid is fast. This kid is fast. And the one thing I like about him, and this is kind of what pushed him up the rankings a little bit, and I got him over Cooper. He brings an element of special teams. He brings the element of special teams where day one he's gonna be your punt returner. And so that's one thing that I had. That's why I have him ranked a little higher than Cooper. Just in my book, is he gives you that special teams. And that's something that I think the Steelers really was lacking, or didn't really put a lot of effort into it, and that's their returns, especially now with the kickoff with the kickoffs. The new rule they got now, the new rule they have now, you basically have to, you can't really kick it. You can kick it in the end zone, but they're gonna tax you big time. So basically now you have to return the ball. So you're gonna get a lot of returns, and so that's one of the things that the Steelers just got to really get some guys, for their return game. But that's what, like I say, I like Branch, and he's a guy that wouldn't be mad if the Steelers bought him in. My number 2 guy, Casey Concepcion. I know you hear, a lot of people say a lot of stuff about him. This kid can play, and like I said last night, just do yourself a favor and watch his film. Now the one thing, and I will admit to, he has some drops, but his drops are more concentration things. It's not like you have some guys that make drops and they just got bad hands. It's not that he have bad hands. It's just like you got to understand guys like him and they so shifty. A lot of times they lose that little bit of focus because they're making moves before they make the catch. And sometimes he gets guilty of that, but that's just something as being a pro that he has to work on and he has to be coached out of it. But take that away, man, this kid is like he's lights out. And like I say, just watch his film. He's another guy that he can play a little bit of outside, but that's not really his forte. But you put him in the slot, he's a matchup nightmare. And he's probably out of all these guys that we're talking about, he's probably the best separator out of all these guys. I mean, he can make separation, and again, special teams, punt return, he's the best punt returner out of all these guys. Guaranteed house call. At some point in the season, I'm guaranteeing a house call for him if he becomes the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the only thing that I really didn't see a lot of is his blocking. Like like I say, when you play in that slot, you're gonna have to make blocks. But see, the one thing about it, all you got to do is get in the way. Like guys like DK Metcalf, yeah, DK Metcalf gonna be able to sling a guy around and pancake a guy. Your slot guys ain't gonna really do that, but all you got to do is just get in the way. Sometimes just you got to sacrifice your body, and you might just get ran over. But as long as you're getting in the way, that's about what your coach is gonna ask from you. You got to put an effort in there. So that's the only thing I really don't I can't really speak on too much about him is his blocking, but his playmaking ability is lights out. It's lights out, and I would not have a problem bringing him in here. And my comp for KC is Jalen Waddle. I think they got some similar game. That sneaky speed. Again, Waddle's a little better outside guy than he probably is right now, but I think their game is similar. And they have a ton of moves and just had that explosive speed. Had that explosive speed that that even if we even, I'm leaving. And that's the type of speed that he has. So that's my NFL comp for Mr. KC. And my last guy that we're gonna get into is my number one guy, which I don't think we will have a shot at getting, is going to be Mekhi Lemons. And let me explain why I say this. Because he's not the most explosive, like KC and Branch and probably even Cooper. Just straight up explosiveness. They're all three of those guys are probably got a little bit more explosive and than Lemon. But the one thing I like about Lemon, and it's the number one thing, and the most impressive catch that I seen him make was it was like a almost like a square in or a dig route. And this particular route, the quarterback basically laid him up. I mean, he hung him up there to dry. So the ball, Lemons, and the defender all got to the spot at the same time. And I mean, I want to say probably 9 out of 10 guys, they alligator in that ball. Cause I mean, they're gonna say, "Hey, I'm about to get laid out," and Lemons went up and caught it. So that's what I like about him. And like I say, at the end of the day, the main thing is catching the ball. And I think he's a kid, great hands, no fear, got a little swag to him, got a little Cali swag to him. And I just think he's a guy working with an Aaron Rodgers. Um, I think he wins Rodgers' his approval very fast, just for the fact that this kid would be willing to give up his body to make that catch. So he's just he's a hard nosed player. He's a hard nosed player. Like I say, I don't really think we got a shot of getting him. What you got, Tyrone Curb? I heard the last 2 days we trade 21 PQ in the third round pick to Dallas for 12. Yeah, I mean we could. I heard that. I know Big G was talking about that last night. Um, I think if the Steelers making that deal, they're definitely that'll be in Lemons. Um, that's about where you could get him at. I don't think they're going up to 12 to get Vega. So that's a possibility. That's definitely a possibility if they make that. And I figure at you moving up to 12, you're not moving up that high and giving up that capital to get a guard. I'm sorry. I know we all want Vega, but if that was to happen, I don't think they're going up that high for that. But Lemons would definitely be around that pick. So my comp for him is his we're not college teammate, but they both played at USC. Amon Rod St. Brown. I think Lemons got a lot of his type game in him. Um, tough guys, tough guys, and just reliable, going to catch the ball. And then this is another thing. If you ever get a chance, I don't know if you know the St. Brown story. Well, his dad back in the day was a bodybuilder, and they post a lot of stuff on Instagram or TikTok. It's one of the two. Um, Man, his dad well, his dad don't really do too much now, but his dad trains St. Brown, and man, his dad is a monster. You should see the training and the weightlifting stuff he puts him through. I mean, he's a little guy, but he's strong. I mean, he is rocked up. He is strong, and his father. I mean, they do some crazy weightlifting. Now it's him and his brother. His brother played football too. I don't know. I remember his brother was playing for the Bears, so I don't know if he's still in the league or not, or he's bouncing around. But if you get a chance, go on TikTok or Instagram and look at them work out. They father is the beast, and he put them through some serious stuff. So, um, but that's one. So if I'm Lemon, I'm signing up for that. I'm signing up for that, and train. I would train with him, and get on that weightlifting program, and get your career going in the right direction. So that was just some guys I wanted to talk about. And like I say, one of these five, um, you know, I want obviously I want some more than others, but one of these one of these five, I just feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers have to come out this draft with one of these guys. I think the Steelers probably going to draft two receivers in this draft. Um, so I think they probably get another receiver, maybe like the third round, fourth round, maybe. Just depends on who they're looking at. But at the end of the day, I think one of these fives have to be wearing the black and gold. And I think if they do that, this receiving room will be headed in the right direction. And, things will be looking up. And probably with Roman Wilson still in the mix, you bring in another rookie that can kind of take his time and develop. Now you actually have a professional wide receiver room, which the Steelers, I think, for the last 2 years they've been lacking, and that was really unexcusable. But we're not going to talk about the past. So that was just something that I wanted to put together real quick and talk about for a little bit. So with that said, hey, we're 7 days away. We're 7 days away from this draft. I'm very excited about it. I think it's gonna be very interesting what the Steelers gonna do. Like I say, we all and gave our opinion and said this and why they're gonna do this. So we finally gonna get that chance to see what's gonna happen here and kind of get a just kind of figure out what this new staff is about and and just go from there. So with that said, you guys take care. I think I'll see. I may do a chat draft on Friday. I mean, not Friday, on Saturday, because I think I'm going to do my last draft maybe Monday or Tuesday, and that'll be my last official draft, and that'll be the draft that I'll compare what I come up with to what the Steelers actually do. So we might do another chat live draft on Saturday. So I'll if I want to do it, I'll let you guys know tomorrow. But with that said, take care. Thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you later. All right, peace.